And welcome back. This past week, Babylon Village trustees, including the mayor, voted to ban any new bars or restaurants for the next year. That followed a highly publicized nighttime trashing of Main Street by some late-night reveling vandals. Take a look. Just last month, surveillance cameras captured the scene as vandals tore up a Babylon Village holiday display, setting flags on fire and urinating on the property. Police blamed it on some out-of-control bar hoppers. Babylon's mayor says the new ban on new bars has nothing to do with the many loud complaints that came from residents, but instead about creating the right mix to boost foot traffic for all of the village's businesses.
We have about 30 bars and restaurants in our village right now, 30 plus. I'd like to see more retail in our village for more walkability.
The mayor says the ban would not affect existing bars, although he has asked them to close earlier. Because it's a hot night spot, village leaders want to be sure that bars aren't placed in stores that become vacant that were never bars before. Stephanie Mangano owns a beauty salon right next to what had been a yoga fitness studio. She's absolutely opposed to a bar next door, especially considering the recent vandalism.
This is a family town. We don't need any more, drunk kids walking around after midnight and vandalizing our town.
But patrons of the many popular bars and eateries that line Deer Park Avenue say they have nothing to do with someone's foolish behavior.
Eliminating bars, I don't see why that would, if people are going to be rowdy, they're going to be rowdy anyway.
23-year-old Alexandria Del Vecchio says she and her friends enjoy the village bar scene and think there should be more bars, not less.
I don't even see the point of that. What's the point of banning something for a year?
Not wanting to ruffle village feathers, several bar owners would only tell us off camera that they think the moratorium will ruin the town's image as a party hotspot. And joining us now is Babylon Village Mayor Ralph Scordino. Welcome to the show, Mayor.
Thank you very much, Richard.
Let's go back to, first of all, you're telling me that the moratorium, as you call it, although it does ban and stop any new bars and restaurants for the next year, has nothing to do with what happened on Main Street there? Nothing at all?
I think that's an ancillary problem that you might have with having so many bars and restaurants in a village, over 30. I think the major concern I have is to get a balance in our village of restaurants and bars and retail, and I think that was the major.
But you would acknowledge you've had residents complaining about, late-night rowdiness, public indecency, people using property like a toilet, loud groups of people on the street. We've seen and heard and done these stories ourselves.
Well, one of the problems that you have is our main business district is surrounded by residential, so it kind of spreads out of the business district into our residential, and people have the right to really complain about overnight parking, urinating,
so if
cans and beers all over the place.
Sure. So, but I mean, you're saying that it had nothing to do with it, but it'll definitely stop any new bars and restaurants from coming in from the next year, so at least we'll limit what you're dealing with, no? So it has some effect, this moratorium.
Well, my main problem and my main concern is the retail business, trying to get more retail in there so more people visit our great village to eat, to visit our restaurants.
I know you're planning to meet with some landlords. You mean you're going to suggest to them what kind of businesses? You know there's always going to be a person who's going to say, it's my property, I should be able to do anything I want.
Well, one of my first concerns, I'm setting up some meetings. I'm meeting with our town IDA and our county IDA to see if there's anything that we could do for tax abatements for our landlords. I'm also meeting with our landlords to do a brainstorming with them to see if they can come up with some ideas that they might have, because they're in the business. They're the ones that really know how to encourage people coming into our village.
Why for only a year, then?
Just to take a step back, to take a breather, to see what happens, and see how our situations in the village now with the 30-plus restaurants that we do have.
Well, what would happen then? You just sit and everybody get together?
We might have some great ideas from the panels that I'm talking to, whether it be the landlords or the IDA.
That could include extending the moratorium if you deem it proper?
There's a possibility. It could be some ideas that we really can't even think about right now that might come out of those meetings.
Well, explain for folks who are wondering, this doesn't affect the existing restaurants or bars, and what you're most concerned about is when these vacancies occurs. Explain that issue a little bit.
That's correct. If there's a bar or restaurant that's existing right now, and you want another restaurateur wants to come in to open up a new restaurant under a different name, then he can do that.
Well, you know, I mean, I surveyed a lot of people that day, and it's a totally unscientific survey when we do these things. Man on the street, right? Everybody knows that term. And I found that young people, which there are a lot of young people in the village, draws them there. They were split on it. Some of them said, you know what, we have plenty of bars, and I don't want anybody rowdy here anyway. And then someone who said to me, me and my friends want to open a bar, so, you know, we think there should be more bars in town. How do you deal with that kind of split amongst people, though?
Well, that's the balance that you're trying to look for. You're trying to look for a balance that's good for the village, that's good for a residential area, it's good for our business district, so there's a great balance with that, so people will want to come into our village.
So are you modeling it after anyone, Patchogue or anybody like that? What you
Well,
looking for?
I try to model after Babylon Village. It's been very
Right.
successful for so many years, and we feel that we have a really great village, and our government, the people that elected us to hold these positions, I think feel satisfied that they have people that are not overwatching the residential area, but also watching.
Well,
over
I've
the
seen that
businesses.
anybody who's been on Long Island for any length of time has seen the transformation for Babylon Village, you know, for its quaint, charming town with lots of nice shops, into what is now considered a cool downtown, hot night spot for revelers.
Right.
And that has changed over the last decade or so to the point where it has this reputation now. And so some of the bar owners are saying that this is going to kill the bar business, or at least that reputation, because that seems a little extreme that it would kill the bar business. They're still there. But that it would kill their reputation as, you know, a cool hot spot.
It's like the story about if you build it, they'll come, and if it's great, they'll come.
Well, name some alternatives you'd like to see in town that you haven't really fully feel have been exploited by.
Well, I'd like to see more retail. You know, when you get into a situation,
Not big retail, small
Well, I'm
mom and
talking
pop stuff.
mom and pop stuff. Like, for example, you can't go through the village to get a nail, to hang a picture. There's no hardware store.
Right, that's true.
You know, we have very few retail stores for men. You know, to get a pair of socks, get a pair of pants. You know, it's different when you only have two. So there are stores that might be open. There might be stores that small mom and pop stores can go in there to accommodate this.
Well, we appreciate your stopping in, Mayor, and explaining the bar and restaurant moratorium ban, some calling it, that's in place now for the next year in Babylon Village. Babylon Village Mayor Ralph Scordino, thanks for the bar ban update.